Hello, this is Ms. DB, and I wanted to go over how to do this assignment on factoring trinomials with Sketchpad. This is in the Week 12 folder, and so I'm going to click to open Sketchpad. Now remember that you need to be logged into Minnows Virtual Student Desktop, the Citrix receiver thing, before you'll be able to open this file. It is a Sketchpad file. If you are already logged in, you should look for this little, it's like a little earth with a compass on it symbol, or if you're logged in, you should be able to just click on this and it'll open. There's all these tabs along the bottom. It defaults to the last page, so I need to go to the first page, which says Directions. So in this Directions tab, it tells us what to do. We're going to use a graphing calculator in the form of Geometry Sketchpad to help us factor polynomials. So those are the x squared plus 6x plus 8 type of things that we've been working with. We can actually graph those equations and see where they cross the x-axis to help us figure out what the factors would be. So in order to do that, we can go to Graph, Plot New Functions, and type in what we want to factor. We use this little caret button for exponents. I'll show you that. And then we're going to look at the graph that we get. The place where the graph crosses the x-axis, oops, that's a typo, are known as the x-intercepts. They can be used to find the factors of the polynomial. You just use the opposite of them. So if you have an x-intercept at 2, then one of our parentheses will be x minus 2. And then we can check with algebra by factoring, and we can also put them together with FOIL. And that's how we can check and see if our answer is correct. All right, let's look at an example. Okay, I graphed x squared minus 3x minus 4. So I did that by going to Graph, Plot New Function, and then I just typed in x squared minus 3x minus 4, and then click OK. And that's our graph. Now we need to find where does it cross the x-axis. So to find where it crosses the x-axis, you can just grab your point tool and you can come over here, and when you're right on the x-axis, do you see how it kind of turned color there? So that's our point. And let's put another one over here. There we go. Now I'm going to measure those points by clicking on them, so that they're kind of glowing. Actually, they're really small right now. I'm just making those points a little fatter. There we go. Now we can see them better. And then I'm going to go to measure the coordinates of those points. Now, the first one, B, says it's actually negative 1.01. That's not exactly correct. It's actually really at negative 1. But Sketchpad has some slight rounding errors here and there. And we can see I already had those marked, so I'm just going to delete these so there are not so many things on this page. Now, what does that mean? That means, where's my pen? That means that we have a big giant hint on how we can factor x squared minus 3x minus 4. So what you do is you write your two sets of parentheses, and you put your x in the first part and your x in the first part, and then the opposite of the 4 and the negative 1 is what goes in the parentheses. So instead of x minus 1, we write x plus 1. And instead of x plus 4, we write x minus 4. And you can check this with FOIL. We can check by multiplying it back. So we'd go x times x is x squared. Then the outer, x times negative 4, would be minus 4x. I was going to write a plus. And then the inner would be plus 1x. And then the last times the last would be minus 4. 1 times negative 4. And then you combine your middle terms and you would get x squared minus 3x minus 4. So this works. So this is a way to help you find the factors of your trinomial. Okay, so when you go to exercises 1 and 2, you'll see there's 2 to graph on each page. So there'll be a little bit of overlapping, but you should be able to maybe change the color and be able to tell which one's which. So the first thing that we do is we type in the x squared and then minus x. You can use your keyboard as well as this kind of touchpad thing. And then you look and see if that looks right up here. Looks right, so then you click OK. And then we need to find the points where it crosses the x-axis. So you can grab your point tool and make sure it's right. Oh, see, did you see it turn color there? And then I need one over here. There we go. And now I'm going to, I can tell that those are at the points 2 and -1. But if I want to double check, I can measure those points. Yep, 2 and -1. Now I'm not done. That just helps me factor this. So now I write my 2 sets of parentheses. And I use x. It was -1, so I changed the sign to x plus 1. And it was x. It was a plus 2 over here for that intercept, so I changed that to x minus 2. And I'm just going to move the, this was this function, and these were the coordinates. I'll put them where they go. And then you check it by foiling it, and you can check it on your own paper. That'd be x times x is x squared, x times -2 is -2x, plus 1x would be -1x, that's what we have, and then 1 times -2 is -2, so that works. Now when you graph the second one, we'll just change its color so that you don't get mixed up. So x squared, I'll show you how to do that, plus 5x plus 6. Okay, so it's over here. I'm going to go to display color. It probably got cut off a little bit for you, and I'm just going to change it to a different color. You can also change how thick your lines are if you want to. And you can also zoom in by moving this dot so that you can see better. Anyway, here's my points. So you're going to find the coordinates of those points and use those to help you factor this trinomial. And you'll continue on through the rest of the problems. There is number 6, factor out the common factor first, and it'll make it a lot easier. And that's just what you need to do. So factor the rest of those. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you very much.